and recently I've read an article with a few people who were on that cruise ship in China. 14 of those people were from the U.S. and they returned to the States, and they brought them to Nebraska. Now, Nebraska, to me, following the map, is almost central in the country.
They brought some also to Oklahoma as well. Yes, Nebraska.
And I believe 11 of those 14 they tested positive on those with the virus. And now I just was wondering how that drama and that soap opera was gonna unfold later on and create more fear with everyone in the States.
It looks as if it can lie dormant, that it can have its own resurrection, so to speak, that it looks as if it can retreat and then re-excel. This is the main problem. And as you bring more and more people into the USA, it is weird that they brought them into the center of the country. One of the more conservative, healthier parts of the country, where you have farmers, you have what some consider the heartland, the backbone of America. Now, danger zones, and the people, the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, are very aware that your main danger zones in the USA would be the massive homeless camps that are established in San Francisco, in California, Los Angeles area, and we've heard reports they are in New York City as well. Of course, not as many in New York City, because if you are going to be homeless, you're going to want to be in a warm place rather than freezing New York. Now, we have spoken with people, our vehicle has spoken with people who have been in and around these camps. They go, some of them for miles. You have people living in tents and tarps and cardboard huts, and there's needles everywhere because they're all getting high on whatever the latest drug is they can afford. And of course, there's a lot of human feces or human waste material. In China, they have a very similar problem, not with needles and drugs, but with unsanitary conditions and the disposal of human waste. The cities may have sewer systems, etc., but you get out into densely packed, not as developed areas. There are all kinds of reports where there's no wash up, there's no water, there's no soap in the restroom. So when you start living on that level and there's despair in the air, any kind of anything can breed. And the problem can be, again, in the US, the three big cities there, and Chicago's not going to get out of it. A few classes ago we said it looks like Chicago is really going to have some big kind of problems down the road. But what can happen is you get one type of virus in and it can trigger another. So we are seeing that this virus scheme, that it can appear to go to sleep and then come back roaring more than ever. Some people warn that it is going to be more dangerous to get it the second time because the first time the body will build up antibodies. Next time it comes back in a new form, it doesn't have the same antibodies. And one disease can trigger another. This you must understand. An epidemic of cholera, an epidemic of measles, an epidemic of whatever. And just the word epidemic, pandemic, strikes fear in people. When people default to fear, rather than functioning, what can I do, let's take care of business. When they go into fear and because they don't know how they're going to pay their rent, for example, or they don't have enough money to go to the doctor or to buy food, or in the last 20, 30 years, there's been lots of people who have said that, well, even 10 years, let's say, they've said that when they run short of money, they don't get their medicines. There's also people who claim they're living on animal food, dog food, because they can't afford human food. And you are one of the wealthiest nations in the world, but do remember, this is the anomaly of the USA, is that you drive the global economy, you consume more than anyone, yet you only make up 5% of the global population. 5%. So to have an epidemic, a pandemic run through the United States would definitely change the stakes in the game of power, of where the source of energy comes from. There's a saying, it is this: what you do comes back to you. On some level, Leo, one could see this virus spreading around the planet, the COVID-19, as a karmic blowback, not just for China, with Jupiter in the 12th house, but also group karma. As Jim brought up, group karma, it's blowing back and going to get the people who did not make the right choices. How many people throughout the past 50 years, since 1950, past 70 years, took jobs in industries that really worked against humankind? Millions upon millions upon millions, all to pay the bills, to have a good car. We are talking aerospace, we are talking pharmaceuticals, we're talking war, now tech. Many, many people who are bright on some level, but very stupid on another, because they did not factor in the components of mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual. Another way of looking at these times is that this is, like we said, the chickens come home to roost big time. Not for one country, but for all countries all around the globe. What do you think there, Leo?
It's interesting how this virus apparently was created or it came out of China. In the mid-'80s, there's a movie that came out. It's called Outbreak. And it was about a virus that actually came from Asia, and a monkey apparently was the carrier, and it came into the United States, and it created a whole town was quarantined, and all this movie just played again, just now in a few seconds, just the whole movie just played again. And you're like, wow, it's like something was actually telling us this is something that was possible. For this lifetime.
You know, it is very interesting, the movie industry, which is ruled by Neptune. And today you have the sun and moon in the sign of Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune. Neptune is illusion, delusion, difficult to tell what's real and what's not with Neptune. Neptune Pisces can be a very loving, artistic, creative, mystical sign. But it is also a sign of hidden secrets and deep deception. Very deep deception. And often it's self-deception. It's not so much, oh, that mean person's lying to me, or they're tricking me, or hiding this. It's self-deception, the inability for an individual to see through the veil, the fog, and to some extent, self-deception has become a way people survive. If I just ignore everything and deceive myself about the problems that are out there, perhaps they will go away. So, and on another level, you are transitioning on the processional cycle from the age of Pisces, again, hidden gods, hidden secrets, to the age of Aquarius, where things are more out in the open. And in a few years, Pluto will go into Aquarius. In 3 weeks or a month, Saturn is going to be in Aquarius, and the energies are going to really change. So another way of looking at this is this karma. In other words, what you do comes back to you at the end of the Piscean age. An age would be about 2,200 years. Many ways to look at things. You cannot just park yourself into one interpretation. It's lots of factors coming together and then making choices around those factors. And so, will this virus be a unifying event? Will it serve to bring humanity back together? Or will it further serve to separate you so that you are suspicious of everyone, isolated and primed, as our vehicle was saying, to stay at home, work at home, have everything delivered, and then this will create, people will not talk person to person. When you do not have direct socialization, you might as well be in a prison cell. And if you are all in the cells together, it still does not mean for a healthy environment. There's some big prayers that need to be put out. The sacred people, those who understand the spirits, those who understand energy, they are going to be doing some big work in the next couple of moons to eradicate this kind of thing. You know, the Chinese have a saying. They believe that if you have good, strong qi, which the qi is the meridians, the energy flow of the body, if it is strong, they say no evil can enter. And evil would be anything that would disrupt, and this is the old Chinese way, evil would be anything that would disrupt the harmony of the balance of the body. So that is another way of looking at things. And when you look at all the people you know, just a rhetorical question here, but you can comment on it. How many people do you know, families, people, individuals, that you would say are really living in balance and harmony? A few, yes? Not, could you come up with a dozen, 2 dozen, 3 dozen people? No. Most people are stressed over something. They're wringing their hands over something, or they overdo. They overeat, they overindulge in one thing or another. Over-tech is the most common, too much tech. And so this, when you are out of balance and out of harmony, then the natural laws of existence, after a while, will cooperate to create something, even if it is purposely instigated, to restore harmony. It could be that this is what this virus is going to be all about. But nonetheless, while this is a noble aim to restore harmony on the planet, we would say the numbers of dead in China, who knows the latest figure? 2,500 or something?
Went past 2,000.
Say it again, please.
The unofficial number is over 2,000 now, I think.
Yes, it's over 2,000, so it's perhaps 2,500, under 3,000. That's the official number. There are some who are saying defectors are saying that the numbers that have been deceased and that have been not counted, secretly cremated, erased from reality are, let's say, a few weeks ago, someone was speculating that it was well over 50,000 people who have already deceased. That's still a drop in the bucket compared to the Spanish flu. We are saying that it is likely that millions and millions of people are infected in the Asian part of the world, and that already our guess is that you've had 75 to 100,000 people dying. That's how skewed in our psychic tune-in the numbers are. That's pretty big. Yet remember, in the US, 650,000 died from the Spanish flu. And we ask you to keep yourself well, to boost your immunity. Negative thoughts tend to lower the vibration. Positive thoughts raise the vibration, raise the immune system. Living well is the very, very best way to approach all of this. Living simply, and most important, living with gratitude. When you have gratitude, you express your gratitude, you live that gratitude. That is what really enhances life in and of itself. Things can turn around in a second. Nothing is predetermined as to be impossible. Things can change. The great field of existence is alive. It hears everything that is going on the planet. Your prayers, your intentions for a good life, for healing, they are all powerful thought forms. So do not think that you are insignificant, that you do not count, or that you are a nobody. If you are in a body, you are a conscious being. And if you are a conscious being, you are here to figure it out, you are here to evolve, you are here to live a good life. You deserve a good life. The people around you have their own choices. But do not think that you are subjected to doom and gloom, or that you are subjected to defeat, or there's nothing that you can do. Who was it? Winston Churchill. Never give up, never give up, never give up. We would say, carry on. Carry on with dignity, carry on with grace and gratitude. And you have a lot of help. A lot of help. We do not want to brag about the help, but it is there. At no cost. You don't have to pay for the help, but you must earn it. So, friends, thank you for attending an enlivened moon afternoon. Think well, live the best, and of course, do your best to help everyone around you to uplift their vibration. Pleasant journeys. Good afternoon.
Okay.